Lesson: Conducting legal and ethical termination processes. Conducting legal and ethical termination processes is a critical aspect of human resources management, particularly for HR leaders who aim to uphold the integrity and reputation of their organizations. Employment termination, when mishandled, can lead to legal repercussions, financial loss, and damage to the organizational brand. Therefore, mastering the art of termination involves understanding legal frameworks, ethical considerations, and practical tools to ensure a fair and respectful process for all parties involved. The legal landscape surrounding employment termination varies significantly across jurisdictions, but certain universal principles can guide HR professionals. In many countries, employment laws are designed to protect employees from unfair dismissal, which can include termination without just cause or without due process. For instance, the concept of at-will employment in the United States allows employers to terminate employees for any reason, provided it is not illegal, such as discrimination based on race, gender, or religion. However, even in at-will scenarios, ethical considerations and best practices suggest that terminations should be handled with care and transparency. To navigate the complexities of legal and ethical termination, HR leaders can employ a structured framework that includes a thorough understanding of employment contracts, adherence to company policies, and compliance with relevant labor laws. Employment contracts often outline the conditions under which termination can occur, including notice periods, severance pay, and grounds for dismissal. Understanding these contractual obligations is crucial for HR leaders to avoid potential breaches and disputes. Moreover, company policies play a pivotal role in shaping termination procedures. HR leaders must ensure that these policies are consistently applied and aligned with legal standards. Regular training and communication with managers are essential to ensure that everyone involved in the termination process is aware of their responsibilities and the correct procedures to follow. This alignment helps mitigate risks and ensures that terminations are conducted fairly and uniformly across the organization. One practical tool that HR leaders can implement is the use of a termination checklist. This checklist should encompass all necessary steps, from documenting performance issues or misconduct to conducting exit interviews. Documentation is a key element in the termination process, serving as evidence that due process was followed and that the decision to terminate was based on legitimate reasons. This documentation can include performance reviews, written warnings, and records of any disciplinary actions taken. Exit interviews, while often overlooked, provide valuable insights into the workplace environment and can highlight areas for improvement. They also offer a platform for departing employees to express any grievances, which can be addressed to prevent future issues. Conducting these interviews in a respectful and empathetic manner can leave a positive impression on the departing employee, reducing the likelihood of negative reviews or legal challenges. In addition to legal considerations, ethical principles should guide the termination process. Treating employees with dignity and respect, even in difficult situations, reflects the organization's values and fosters a culture of trust. HR leaders should strive to communicate openly and honestly with employees throughout the termination process. This includes providing clear explanations for the decision, offering support such as career counseling or job placement services, and ensuring that the termination meeting is private and respectful. Case studies of organizations that have successfully navigated the termination process can provide valuable lessons for HR leaders. For example, a study of a multinational corporation that implemented a structured termination process revealed that clear communication and support for departing employees led to a significant reduction in post-termination litigation. By prioritizing transparency and support, the organization was able to maintain positive relationships with former employees and protect its reputation. Statistics further underscore the importance of conducting ethical terminations. According to a survey conducted by the Society for Human Resource Management, organizations that implemented fair termination processes experienced a 25% decrease in employee turnover and a 15% increase in employee satisfaction. These figures highlight the tangible benefits of adopting ethical termination practices, not only in terms of legal compliance, but also in fostering a positive organizational culture. Another effective framework involves the use of mediation and conflict resolution techniques during the termination process. Mediation can be particularly useful in situations where there is a dispute or misunderstanding between the employer and the employee. By involving a neutral third-party mediator, both parties can communicate their perspectives and work towards a mutually agreeable solution. This approach not only minimizes the risk of legal action, but also demonstrates the organization's commitment to fairness and collaboration. In implementing these frameworks and tools, HR leaders must also be mindful of cultural differences that may impact the termination process. In international contexts, cultural norms and expectations can influence how terminations are perceived and handled. For instance, in some cultures, a direct approach to termination may be viewed as disrespectful, while in others, it may be considered necessary for clarity. HR leaders must be culturally sensitive and adapt their approach accordingly to ensure that the process is respectful and appropriate for all parties involved. Ultimately, the success of a legal and ethical termination process depends on the organization's commitment to continuous improvement. Regularly reviewing and updating termination procedures, seeking feedback from departing employees, and staying informed about changes in employment law are essential practices for HR leaders. By prioritizing these actions, organizations can enhance their proficiency in managing terminations and mitigate the risks associated with this challenging aspect of human resources management. In conclusion, conducting legal and ethical termination processes requires a comprehensive understanding of legal frameworks, ethical considerations, and practical tools. By employing structured frameworks such as termination checklists and mediation techniques, HR leaders can navigate the complexities of termination with confidence and integrity. Real-world examples and statistics demonstrate the effectiveness of these strategies in reducing legal risks, maintaining positive relationships with former employees, and fostering a positive organizational culture. As HR leaders continue to evolve in their roles, the ability to conduct terminations with professionalism and empathy will remain a critical skill in the ever-changing landscape of employment law.